Hello and welcome to Catechris TV. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and our guest today is Rizz and the Believers. I just love the name of the band. Of course, Rizz, you were the lead singer, and everybody knows the drummer Troy Luccketta, of course, original Tesla drummer. Now, that's a great place to start, Troy, if you don't mind. Talk a little bit about the decision to leave Tesla and to move on to something else.
Wow, man, let's get right into it, huh?
Yeah, that's a $1,000 question.
You know, I mean, it's just one of those things, Tesla, 36 years, God bless them, man. It's been unbelievably great. I'm nothing but praise for where it's brought to me. Yeah, 36 years. And, there just comes a time where it's just maybe time to do something different and new and expand, That's all,
And as far as doing something new and different, I understand your son is in the band. So that obviously has something to do with you getting involved with this. So talk a little bit about that, working with your son and coming to join Rizz and the Believers.
Yeah, I went out. It actually started with my son. I went out to see him. He was having a surgery. The short Cliff Notes version is I showed up. I was going to spend 3 weeks with him in California. I walk in his garage. Rizz is asleep on the floor, and he's got a tri-level. So I go upstairs and, I say hi to Rizz real quick. And basically, he had a surgery. And so he was kind of immobile. And he said, Dad, would you put some drums on this for me? Some of these songs. And I said, sure. So I spent 3 weeks. I put in, I think we did about 5 songs. And by the time I left there, I mean, I just felt like, I thought, man, Troy, I said, what are you doing with this kid? I mean, I think this kid's a superstar, I really think he's the real deal, And he said, well, I'm producing. I said, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can talk to him and see if we can really take this thing somewhere. So COVID hit, shut us down. We hooked up 2 years ago. I called him, and he's with me now. He's in the studio right now. Okay. We're both in Tennessee, but we're both in different locations.
Okay.
But yeah, so we just got right into it, man, and we got busy. And he's been here for the last 2 years, and we've been working on all this music that you see in here.
And Rizz, just jumped right in. Rizz is not your real name, so that's a nickname. I'm curious, is that a name you gave yourself or somebody else? Because I think it's pretty cool.
Thanks, buddy. It's funny. It's since I was in high school, it was K Rizz, and that was like my rapper name, man. That was when I was doing all my hip hop. Not that I don't, still have those influences in my music, but I was in a group with all my boys, more of like a hip hop group, Light 'Em Up Music, and we all that was my name that I picked was K Rizz. For what reason I don't know. And then it kind of, as time went on, and then it transitioned into Rizz, and then Troy, and we got together, and it was Rizz and the Believers. He was like, how about we had, we got to change it from K Rizz because of, certain legalities, and there's other artists that have, there was there's a couple of different K Rizzes out there. So, Chris Calico, and he's awesome, artist. And so it was like, all right, I'm down with just going to Rizz. And then, it kind of came up with the Believers, and it all ties together. And, it's one of those things for me that obviously at first the change is a little different, but now it's settled in, and it sounds like a staple name to me. It's like when I hear it and I say it, it feels right.
I got to tell you guys, I'm prepping for an interview. Of course, last night I went on and I was checking out the new EP. And I got to tell you, when I heard the name Rizz and the Believers, and I'm listening to the EP, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm a believer in this stuff. I mean, as I was telling you, Rizz, before we went on, to me, it's like good time. The best way I would describe it is good time music. It's music you could listen to on a beach. You often get people ask you the question of, if you were stuck on a desert island, what would you want to be listening to? I'd love to be have your EP in my collection if I was ever on a desert island. I mean, it's that kind of feel to me.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That means so much to us. And that's kind of been our goal, is we want to make music with purpose, and music that makes people feel good and uplifts the spirit and the soul, man. I mean, it's coming from a place of love, and we couldn't be more grateful for everybody that's been involved and helped this thing, evolve into what it is. And we try not to control it as much as we do, but it's really a fun process, and I'm glad you like it, man.
I'm going to ask you, Rizz, and this may seem like a crazy question, but I mean, who's not aware of the band Tesla? But were you at all a Tesla fan, or did you become a more aware of who Tesla was once he met Troy and started working with him?
I had not even known about them. So I became more of a fan once I had known of Troy and getting to see. I actually got to go see them at the Ryman and met Jeff Keith and hung out backstage at the Ryman with him. And what a wonderful group of people. And Jeff was so much fun and great music. And for me, getting to see Troy back when he was my age and younger on the stage and see that history and all of his life that he's put
Sure,
in,
sure.
the music, and on the road and what he's put into the industry is like really inspiring. And so as much as for me, like, I don't know, I love Troy and I couldn't be more grateful. And it's kind of a cool what we have going. Like he said, I met him through his son and I
Sure.
didn't know about his
Definitely.
history,
Yeah.
and so it's cool how it all has come together. And I have a big appreciation for just what he's put into music industry and what he's really put in a lot. And so to be working with him now is like, I just have to just say, thank you, Lord.
Troy, Tesla's one of those bands that has always been kind of hard to pigeonhole. I mean, you got songs like "Signs," "Love Song." You got stuff like on the album, the comeback album. It was really heavy, and you guys do metal. You do a little bit of everything. So that's one thing I've always loved about Tesla is you could never really pigeonhole the band.
Well, I think you're going to find with Rizz And The Believers, it's the same old story, quite
Sure, sure.
honestly. I mean, you see, because Rizz comes from, like you said, a rapper's, he used to rap a lot, and then, but he's heavily influenced with the reggae scene, and he knows that music, which I don't. He
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know my music. I don't know his music. We just started, it was just a freaking love affair musically, man. I was just like, man, I just love what's happening here. I really want to get into this thing and get deep into it. And the more we've gotten deep into it, there's so many songs that are so crossover. I mean, we could find ourselves. We're keeping the brand with some of the reggae stuff right now.
Sure,
We're
sure.
branding it, but that's because of the brand itself and his roots. And I wanted him to stay true and us to stay true to that. But it's much bigger and it's world music. And I mean, we've got pop stuff, crossover. I mean, it could end up on the country charts. I mean, there's some really amazing music. We ended up on the jam band charts,
I could see that.
jamband.com. And it's like, because that we do all of that stuff.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
getting ready, we go in next week. We got a busy week. We got 2 videos to shoot. We've got 2 shows to play. And then we also have 3 days that we're in Ocean Way Studios in Nashville with all the believers. And Squidly's coming in from Jamaica. So he's going to be with us for 10 days. And we're doing another live EP in the studio. So we're going to be cranking out a lot of music.
I can't wait to hear the rest of this music you guys are working on and the videos. I mean, again, I listened to Rizz And The Believers, the EP you guys just released, and you're definitely right. It's got elements of reggae and rap, but it's not really it's not obvious. It's if you listen, you can hear it. It's kind of in the background. But let me ask you, Troy, part of the reason you get involved with this project besides your son, because would have to be when I listen to music, and I'm not a drummer, I'm not a musician, but it seems like this would be a drummer's dream come true, this music. I mean, a lot of it is very rhythmic. I hear that and listening to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, in the 80s, when everybody was playing the rock, I was still in the 70s. And I come from a little bit of the 70s era that had all those great, fantastic, beautiful drummers from Ian Pace, from Purple, and John Bonham, and even Sabbath with Billy Ward. Those guys all had a swing in their groove. They were all into jazz, and they had that thing. So I'm a closet wannabe everything. I play, I've been fortunate to play on a Free to Pain record, which is an R&B record. I played on Doris Day's last record. I'm playing Brushes. I play with Keith Emerson. I did the last recording with him with the 70-piece orchestra. And I've been really blessed. I say that very humbly, but my point is I love music and I love to stretch. And what this music is allowing me to do is even stretch even more because the reggae side of it's not my world at all. And there's a thing. there's a thing in that music. And I think the beauty of what might be taking place with all of us is the fact that we don't get each other, but we just get it when we get together. We do our thing. We just do us. You know,
I think, yeah,
we're not trying to be anything other than what we are, and we're letting the music kind of dictate what we do, you know.
that's a beautiful thing when everybody brings in a different influence. That's why the music sounds to me the way it does, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, like when you were Tesla with your Troy, there's a certain level of comfort, you know, when you get ready for a gig, you know, you played these songs, you know, millions of times, so you know how to do it. You don't have to really think about it. But in a new band like this, you know, you guys are creating the music together, you're writing the songs together. You're not like playing love song for the for the 8 million times. It's something new, and so that's got to be a challenge as well. Kind of, oh, okay, I haven't done this before.
You know, today I ran through the set. I've got I put on the show that we're going to play coming up, and we're very spontaneous. We can do stuff off the fly, cuff, whatever. I mean, the acoustic stuff, if you've seen some of that, I mean, we just kind of go after all of it, and we're figuring it out as we go. But yeah, there's some elements of, it's so new and so fresh. It's going to be interesting to just see how that works, but yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some challenging moments here and there, but so far it's just been a lot of fun.
That's what's important, as long as it's fun, right? And it doesn't seem like
yeah, I mean, that's the whole goal in all of what we do. And Rizz and I, and we both are we're just so close. We're like brothers. And I mean, obviously he could be my son even with the age thing, but I tease him and I say, how do you feel being around all these old dinosaurs, man? We're just freaking, we were here before the freaking dinosaurs roamed,
yeah.
And I make jokes about us being old dinosaurs, but I'll let Riz talk to you a little bit about that. But he embraces it, and it is part of what has transpired and became the sound for sure in the experience.
So let me ask you, Riz, probably my favorite song on the whole EP is "Can We Go." I mean, I don't know what it is. I just kind of love the upbeatness, the good time vibe about it.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites too, man. Can We Go's killer. We're actually shooting the video for that, and it's kind of like, taking that dream person, going on this trip, but it's kind of funny because it's like, I don't know your name. No, I don't know your name yet. So it's like this mysterious, it's like wanting to go on a trip with this dream person, but you don't know who that person is yet. But when you do, you're going to go on this, take them to the Bahamas or whatever. And so, yeah, that one, what the cool thing about a lot of the tracks on that AP was that we got to go to Jamaica and record some of the percussion and some of the background vocals in Tough Gong Bob Marley's studio, which for me, as being a huge fan and being one of my idols, it was like surreal and very educational. The more you love the music, the more the music loves you back. That was one of the coolest things I took away from that trip that Squidly Cole told me. And he's out playing with Stephen Marley right now and getting ready to come in to record with us again as well in Ocean Way now. So kind of back in our territory in the States, but we're just having fun trying to make music with purpose, man, and positive music to uplift the world. That's kind of, where we sit. And, if it resonates, I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just good time music. I think people get off on it, and anybody that listens to it. And what's cool is, I got to tell you, I'm a guy that typically listens to like hard rock and metal. I also have appreciation for stuff like, the Eagles and Tom Petty, the Beatles, of course. Who's not a Beatles fan, right? But my point being is, if the music is good, people, I think, should open their ears a little more, be willing to listen to it. And I mean, there's a certain percentage of people, Riz, maybe that were Tesla fans or Troy fans, and so they'll check this out. And then there's going to be another percentage of people that just kind of accidentally come across it on the internet and, wow, what is this? So it seems like there's a huge potential for this band. The cross section of fans is just, I think, huge.
There's a lot of believers out there. They just don't know it yet, but we're coming, and they are too, man. And that's the exciting part of, I think, for me is, there's been a little bit of stress of, starting a brand new band and some of these songs I wrote 10 years ago and then having to let those evolve naturally and see that, kind of letting go of these things you were so attached to. I mean, it's been a lot behind the scenes that can, some of it was a bit stressful, but it was a good stress. It was learning curves and growing pains. And, now it's really cool. And to get to be able to step back and get that first body of workout.
Mm-hmm.
And getting ready, I was just talking, I'm over at Dave Brainerd's house, who's the co-producer of the project. And it was like, man, I'm really excited to like have a new fresh mentality of letting these songs morph into whatever they want to be this next session. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But really, you know, for me now too, also just embracing like the whole process. That's the fun part is like,
Sure.
where's this thing going? I don't really know, but like, we're just kind of riding this wave with, you know, kind of, we have the direction, but we don't know where it's going to end up. So it's kind of cool, man. That's the hard part, I think, for anybody and for anything, like trying to let go, you know, and
Sure.
have fun in the moment.
And I got to ask you, Troy, being the veteran of the music business that you are, compared to all these other guys in the band, you know, when Tesla was first starting out, you know, you guys would go in the studio. I mean, rock bands of that generation would go in the studio. Everybody would be in the same room together, and you know, and you'd hash it out that way. And you, a lot of times, songs would be written, you know, at the same time. And my point is, these days, bands go in, they cut a song at a time. It's not kind of done the old school way necessarily anymore. So, what has that process been like for you?
Well, you know, when I left my sons, we had 5 songs. And what Rizz has done in the past is he's licensed music and songs or written with a, you know, a backing track of some sort. So we took those songs and I started over and I just kind of built it. I got a guitar player and I kind of brought all the members in one by one. And I was out with the Guess Who for about 35 shows last year. And the guitar player, Michael Sterto, spent 10 years with Lou Graham. So he came on board. And then our bass players, you know, I don't know if you know Michael Devin, he spent 10 years in Whitesnake.
Sure.
And he's in the Daisies now, the Dead Daisies. But we just kind of hit it off and they loved Rizz. I turned them on what I was doing. I said, hey man, I got to record some music. And, you know, so we started to build the tracks with the guy named John Salloway and who I've been working with locally and just kind of added it. And I don't, you know, it still has very much a live feel to it.
Yeah.
Like we're all kind of in there and it really worked out really nice because sometimes doesn't always come across that way. And once we got to Jamaica, Squidly brought a lot of that too with the percussion and the girls. But you know, it's okay. I don't mind that. I mean, I've made records, a lot of records with a lot of different people. I mean, I've recorded with just me and a freaking click track, man, knowing the song and throwing an arrangement down. And they, you know, because I'm the foundation of the track. But, you know, the Tesla stuff, we always rehearsed in the band. And so this, what we're getting ready to do, this is exciting because like Squidly flies in Thursday. Friday is our bass player's coming in, Michael. And then we have a show Saturday at the Reggae Festival here in town in Nashville. And then we've got 2 days to rehearse for the show at the City Winery that we're doing here in Nashville. Then we're shooting the video on the 23rd, which is a green screen video for Can We Go? And then the 24th, we play the City Winery. Then the 25th, 6th, and 7th, we're recording. So this is a big, giant week for us. And we're going to get a lot of great new content, pictures, and, you know, because this will be the most time we have had to spend together. So it's, you know, details at 11, Jason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me ask you guys. So have you played out live before together, the band, or will these be your first shows?
The City Winery is going to be our first time as a full band. We've done a couple like 3-piece, 4-piece. We've kind of done different acoustic styles, but as far as a full electric band, City Winery, the July 24th will be the first time like everybody's there. And we, you know, again, added Squidly Cole to the lineup, which is really cool. So we have a really neat thing. Unfortunately, Troy Jr. couldn't make it down this time. Yeah, like the lineup's just, it's going to be epic.
How exciting. I mean, to finally get to really do a full band show, you know?
It's kind of a showcase, man. And so we're super excited. I'm a little nervous. Troy's funny because, you know, he's just like, it's fine, man. We're good. We got this. And I'm like, dude, you got this. And I know I do too, but like, you guys have a lot more experience, you know, than this. And this is definitely raising the bar for myself, which I'm excited about. We just got an in-ear system we're working with, and it's like a dream come true, man. I've been able to like to get to these points that I've been honestly dreaming of for a long time as a performer and singer and songwriter. And so always watch the big dogs do
For sure.
this
So
stuff that I'm just
the
starting to
EP
do.
that just came out, I was curious, are you guys signed to a label or did you release it independently?
We did it independent through our own Blessings and Love Records, our own label.
That's cool in a way because I think that way you just get put the money back into the band, right? And
Yeah.
it goes straight to you guys. Yeah.
It's all to we're just trying to keep this thing alive and put out good music, man.
And so the music you guys are getting ready to go record, I was curious, is that for a full length release or are you just getting ready to, well, this is the next set of songs we're doing?
Next set, but we have some like first and secondaries and then standbys to see, what we blow through and what happens, and always leave room for all the for the other magic to happen, and just, but we gotta we'll see what we come out with.
Yeah. And so I was curious, Troy, what I was asking earlier is like, as far as the way recording is done now these days, back when, you were starting out in Tesla, bands would go in the studio and you would write like an album worth of tunes where the thought process was that the songs ought to all sound like they fit on the same album. That's not so much the process these days. Do you enjoy kind of doing it the new way? Where the bands kind of write just a song at a time.
Was that directed to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't. I mean, we have these songs roughed out, demo, like as far as, the magic's going to happen in the studio. It's when it will be all of us contributing. So we, like Rizz said, we're just so interested to see what is going to happen. We know what the tracks are. We have the songs. We have plenty of music, plenty of great songs, but we prioritize that we get a full EP out of it. On the 2nd of August, we have a song called "Give It a Go" that's coming out. We're also going to shoot a video in the studio for that. So we're going to get the single out, we'll get the video out, and then we're going to put the EP out. That's the idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think the point I'm trying to make is like you listen to like classic Alex Cooper album like Billion Dollar Babies, all those songs, and when he wrote them or being written for a specific album, where I don't think that's as important these days, because like you listen to your guys' EP, it doesn't necessarily matter if they were all recorded on the same day or in the same recording session. Like you're saying, if it's a good song, it's a good song,
Yeah. It's funny because once you listen,
I think. Go ahead.
I was just saying, once you listen to them enough,
go ahead, Rizz.
They kind of start to blend. They do kind of find their way together, which is interesting because I know what you're talking about, and sometimes they're not necessarily written that way, but I feel like sometimes it does work out that way still. Obviously, I wasn't making music when they were doing that, and I have so much appreciation for it, and so like as an artist, that has grown up in the era that I have. But then being around the people that I am, that's what this new session is exciting for, because we are kind of doing it old school, maybe not the writing, but as far as the musicality part and getting in together and working these out and seeing how they work and then blending them together. Like however that works out, man, I don't know, but I just know there ain't no samples. This is real music, real musicians, real tracking, like real people and energy coming together to make a real piece of art. And like, for me as an artist, I think that's the top. That's all we ask for. That's our dream right there.
I mean, I can hear what you're saying in the sense that, like again, I'm a guy who typically lists classic rock, metal, hard rock, and I bring that up only because, like I listen to your stuff. It's like it's got good vibes. It's it's uplifting. It gets and like I totally agree that you hear influences of reggae and hip hop even, but it's not hitting you over the head. You almost gotta really kind of be listening for it,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the point.
There's a song on the record, Jason. There's a song that when you're listening to the song "I Believe," Rizz is our co-producer, David Brainerd. He's a brilliant, great songwriter, and when he brought "Believe" in, it was one of those songs where, quite honestly, Dave plays everything himself and produces Rizz, and it was so good. I mean, it wasn't that it needed anything.
Yeah.
But the only thing I wanted to interject was the Believers. So when it hits that solo section, I don't know if you can catch it or not, but it's almost like an Allman Brothers moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
we just kind of, it's been an experimental process, and sometimes when we're doing it, we don't even know exactly what to think, whether we like it or not. But we've had a chance to really let that process happen. And I think that's what's really great. Like I'm even thinking, with the two guitar players that we have, because freaking David is so great at what he does, it's like he might be in the studio and be part of and pick up and play and help us with the songs, because he's going to be on the other side of the glass, which is fine. But he's so good as a musician, you want that in there too. And he is a believer. I mean, he's one of us, we got some big songs coming out that you haven't heard that he's written. He produced the first Jamie Johnson record. He produced the #1 record with Jared Neiman. He had a Brandy Clark. He had 3 Grammy nominations. I mean, this guy comes from a place that's, he a different world,
Sure.
So we're all coming, from a different place. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of it comes together, because we will all be working together in the studio.
And I can tell, Troy, just talking to you, the passion you feel for this, because it is so different from what you did before. It's got to be that. It's got to be really exciting, because
I'm the #1 fan in this thing. I know that. I'm sure Riz would say it's his mother, and I give it to her, and I get.
I was just gonna say, Troy, be careful, brother. My mom's watching this.
Yeah, right. And but the truth of the matter is I've been a believer, and Riz knows where I'm at with this thing, and everybody that's involved with it, everybody's a believer, and that's what's so exciting. And now you're a believer, Jason. I mean, that's the coolest thing in the world.
You bring up a great point, because I'm gonna say, I'm a huge Kiss fan, and for years they have their fan club, the Kiss Army. I think you guys need to start like a thing, become a believer. Call your fans the Believers, because I come see you live. They believe in it.
Tell them, Riz.
Yeah.
I've been working up a believer circle, and that's exactly what it is. It's kind of a community-based thing that we're getting all the believers together on, and it's a format that will be able to have actually all of our fans, the believers, interact with amongst each other, get exclusive content of behind-the-scenes footage of lots of cool stuff that we're doing. And so we're trying to really cultivate a cool, connection and community of people called the Believers. And
I love that, because I mean, again, it may sound silly, but I kind of almost envision, a lot of times people talk about going to church and they like it or they don't like it because it's boring. But then you got some churches where they got a rocking choir and they really make it fun. I mean, I could see something like that. You guys being in a building, getting everybody up on their feet with just this good time music, making them a believer.
That's it, man. And it's we believe in the greater good, man. We believe the good things are coming, and just trying to do the right thing, man. So there's a lot coming for us. I really believe that, and it's going to be exciting to see where this thing goes. And we've gotten it started, so now it's kind of like, hang on, just.
And the best thing I can tell you guys, in listening to your entire EP, I love every song on the EP. In fact, I only have one complaint, and that is that I wish it was a full length. But I think you accomplished this, and you always leave the fans wanting more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're kind of in the middle of the singles world, and albums kind of going out, but I don't know. We'll see what happens on that full length, and we'll definitely we're just gonna keep making music and see what happens.
So, where can people follow you guys on social media?
Facebook, Instagram, Rizz and the Believers. It's Believers with a Z, RIZZ, and the Believers. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, rizzandthebelievers.com. Everything's Rizz and the Believers. Check us out, follow us, keep loving your heart, keep loving your soul, and spread that around the globe.
And final question for you guys. You said you're working on a video for what is it? Can We Go? Any idea, do you have an official release date when that's coming out, or people should just check out the sites and know?
Check out rizzandthebelievers.com and all the socials, because obviously we have so much happening this week. There's a lot. But we're shooting that in front of a green screen, so it's all coming out in the production. Not the pre-pro, but all the after production, editing and all that. So depending on how the production of the editing goes, it's going to be a really cool thing. That video I'm super excited for. We got a real cool storyline. So I'm gonna
Okay.
keep that a surprise so everybody has something cool to look
We'll
forward to.
definitely follow you guys. And just so you know, it looks like the interview that we just did is going to be going up this Friday. I will be sure to let Jody know. You're welcome to share it. I definitely love to have you guys back when the video comes out. We're big time believers now. Love what you guys doing. And final question, if you don't mind, Troy, for you. I was curious. Have you ever met Steve Brown, the man who placed you in Tesla? I was curious what you thought of his drumming, or if you've met the man.
Yeah. When it all went down, I went and got with Steve and put my blessing on it, and we hung out. Yes, I know Steve,
Like,
sweet guy, great player.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a chance to interview him. I just was asking because he seems like a really cool guy, and he's fit in just nice. I mean, I know Tesla loyal fans are kind of sad to see you leave, but they got the right man, I think, for the job.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, and the band still sounds great, and they're doing great, and I couldn't be happier for all of them. And yeah, man, I give them my blessing on everything. Love the band. I'm a Tesla fan, man, as much as I am a believer.
That's cool that you guys are on good terms now. I was curious if you ever had a chance to see a Tesla show since you've been out of the band. Just go and sit in the audience.
No, I haven't caught up with the band yet. No,
Busy.
not as of yet. But I mean, obviously know what it is.
I mean,
And
I asked you because I think that would be a unique experience. That's I used to say, but those are my guys.
yeah, no, I'm very proud and very honored that I've had the 36 years that I did with the band, and nothing but praise for everybody.
At least you got to go out on a high note in the sense that, I mean, the band's still very popular, out doing their thing. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going away. I mean, that band will be. It's like that's the beautiful part about bands like Tesla and bands that have that legacy. Because like I was just out with the Guess Who, and really when I was out there, there wasn't anybody there because I took Gary's place, the original drummer, and it's like Foreigner,
Wow.
But
Yeah.
you know what, people? My point is, it doesn't matter who's there. It really doesn't. When it comes down to it, people want to hear the music, and that's it. And of course they want Jeff, but we've learned, with no Steve Perry, with no, I think it would be hard to do Aerosmith without Steven Tyler. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I mean, it seems like it all works. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Guess Who too is one of those bands everybody just loves the songs. Those are songs that grew up with.
Just a great catalog, just like Tesla. Got a beautiful catalog of music, and I'm proud of it to be part of it.
Well, Troy and Rizz, great talking. I'd love to talk to you guys again. So let's keep in touch, okay? We'll definitely have you back on.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Bye-bye.